For close to 5 weeks, India and China have been involved in a standoff along part of their shared border. To better understand what's going on, let's take you back in time. During the early 18th century, the British Empire worked towards improving its trade routes from India into Tibet in order to sell tea, tobacco and other goods produced by Indian colonies. Sikkim, then an independent kingdom, was the ideal connecting point. As a result, the northern part of the kingdom was annexed by Britain in 1888. 2 years later, Britain and China met in Calcutta to clearly define the Sikkim-Tibet border and avoid any future conflict. The Treaty of 1890 was signed between the two sides. Article 1 of this treaty states that the border must begin at Mount Ginpochi, while at the same time also states that the boundary must follow the watershed. Mount Ginpochi, however, is not the start of the watershed, and the treaty does not explain how to interpret this. In discussions, China quotes the 1890 treaty and chooses the starting point of the border as Mount Ginpochi, while Bhutan and India choose a place called Batangla as the starting point. Once India gained independence, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru had written to his Chinese counterpart Zhou Enlai in 1959. In the letter, Mr. Nehru has agreed that there is no dispute over the boundary between Sikkim and Tibet. However, with regards to the border between Bhutan and Tibet, he states that Chinese maps show sizable areas of Bhutan as a part of Tibet and had requested the same to be rectified by Chinese authorities. However, whether the border starts at Batangla or at Ginpochi would not change Indian territory in any way. So why is India involved in this issue? Bhutan was not a party to the 1890 agreement, and its border with Tibet has never been officially demarcated. Bhutan asserts that the disputed area is Bhutanese territory. In 1998, China and Bhutan signed a bilateral agreement for maintaining the status quo in the region and peace along the border. China agreed to show respect for Bhutan's sovereignty in the region and to build ties peacefully. However, Bhutan claims that China's building of roads in the disputed land is in violation of the 1998 agreement. China, on the other hand, claims that the road building exercise is peaceful and should not warrant such a reaction. Bhutan and India have been closely allied since 1949, and until 2007, India had maintained a significant influence over Bhutan's foreign policy and defense. Prior to 1970, India represented Bhutan in all border talks with China. Recently, China attempted to extend a road in a sector of Doklam, triggering this standoff. Coming to Bhutan's aid, Indian forces crossed over the border, taking up positions at Dokala to block any further road construction in the disputed area. Another important concern that may have prompted India to make such a move is the strategically important Chicken's Neck. Merely 130 kilometers south of Dokala lies an area known as the Chicken's Neck or the Siliguri Corridor, which is of extreme strategic importance to India. The Chicken's Neck is an outcome of the British decolonization process. The creation of East Pakistan, which later became Bangladesh, led to the birth of this awkward piece of geography. A Chinese military advance of less than 80 miles south could cut off Bhutan, parts of West Bengal, and all of northeast India from the rest of the country. Currently, India and China are using all available diplomatic channels to avoid escalating the issue. An ego clash seems to have ensued, with both sides refusing to budge. Hopefully, the two Asian giants would be able to reach a consensus soon. Or as they say, winter is coming, and once it hits, both sides would have no option but to withdraw, considering the extreme weather conditions prevalent in the area.